With the addition of the 2 geese on our hobby farm, we decided that we would house them in their own little goose house instead of having them bunk with the chickens, just because they're so much messier, and eventually we'd like to get more chickens down the road so it saves space in the coop. David put together this beautiful little goose house. The goose house is made out of OSB, 2x4s, hardware cloth, and some pallets the local business was getting rid of for free. The framing for the bottom is the pallets. They're put together. They're rather interesting size ones, so I'll go inside a little bit later, but let's see if we can get this to focus. There we go. There's 2 pallets to each wall, 2 pallets to the front, one being the door, and then 2 pallets to this side. The back wall is simply connected to this building, so we didn't have to worry about making the 4th wall. And we put these boards up, connect to the building to support the roof. The roof, we are eventually planning to get some shingles or metal roofing, something recycled, to go on top of it. And we're going to paint the OSB to help it get more lifespan out of it. It is under this roof up here, but if you can tell, there's some holes in it. It's very old and beat up. It's seen better days. But it does the job of keeping it mostly dry and protected. We live down south in Alabama. We get some crazy wind with our storms. I have come in during the storms and checked the angle it's at under the roof and where the pitch is on the building. It doesn't get rain inside of it through those ventilation areas that we left open with the wire cloth. We left large ventilation for the geese. Number one, so they can get some light in here because it can get kind of dark. And we don't have any lights in the backyard. Also because the geese are pretty messy and wet, so it gets humid, it gets kind of smelly in there, so it just keeps it fresher in there while they're enjoying it, living in it, having a sleeping in it at night. When David put the wire cloth on, he tried a new technique that he saw someone else use on YouTube. I'm not sure who used it, so if this is something you've used, you can just claim it and say that it was you. You taught him. Good for you, whoever you are. I'm proud of you. Instead of using the hooked nails that are the U or staples or something like that, he used a screw and a washer, so it's easier to go in. It holds it down, and if we need to ever remove this to fix a piece of wood or something, we don't have to pull those screws or just, say screw the piece of metal and get rid of it, trash it. We can simply remove these, pull the washer, pull the screw, and it pops right off, goes right back on. So super easy, went up way quicker than when we did our chicken coop. Wish we'd known that for our chicken coop. And if you have to put up some wire netting, I recommend giving it a try because it was so much easier. So much easier. Cannot recommend it enough. The door is made out of a pallet, double hinges and double locks. We do have some very large animals in our area. Our neighbor across the street, he at one point had 13 or 14 chickens of his own, and something slaughtered them all in the morning. Didn't even eat them, just killed all the poor girls. So David wanted to over-engineer this just to make sure, yes, nothing could get in. So the OSB is on the outside. We have the pallet. We are going to put a handle on there. We just haven't gotten to do that yet. And then it opens up so you can see OSB, pallet walls on the inside. We're just going to leave these open. They'll kick litter into it or whatever. That's fine. And they have a nice open area on the floor. And it is designed so that it's tall enough in the back so that I can stand in here. As I've mentioned in previous videos, I have a spinal injury. It's hard for me to work crouched down. So I'm able to stand on the back wall and do my cleaning with a shovel in here, not have to worry about it, so it works very well for my back. On the floor, we have pine shavings for Meme and Mau to nest in. Underneath the pine shavings, we have more of the metal wire mesh to prevent any animals from digging in. It is a stronger metal. It's not chicken wire. It's a lot sturdier chicken wire. I would never recommend putting on the floor. I'm sure most people know that. Chicken wire is strong enough to keep a chicken in. It's not strong enough to keep a predator out. This metal wire is. It would take a lot of force and a lot of effort to dig through it. So we've got it on the floor underneath, and with their nice little flat feet, we don't have to worry about them getting injured walking on it. So the whole entire floor is that it's connected to the wood on the underside. In the video pieces that are going to come after this, where I'm showing David putting it together. He actually flipped the framing of this before he had the OSB on, upside down, put the metal on, and then flipped it back over so that it was on the bottom, and then he was able to just continue building upwards. It's a very simple construction. It was thrown together in 2 afternoons. Meme and Mama seemed to enjoy it. Their first night they were a little hesitant, but by the next night they were ready to go in and out and sleep and it be locked up no problem. It's very basic. There's not a lot to it, so it's pretty easy design to replicate if you're looking for an easy goose house that you can make that is standing against something, or just follow the pattern that David did building the walls, build the back wall, and you could either OSB up your whole entire back wall, or you could do mesh. Just depends on what your needs are, how your wind blows, how your rain goes, and what you feel is best for your geese. So you have a screw and you blend it up with your washer, with the washer hole where you want it.
And holds it straight.
Nice.
Put one down.